Yo, what is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 86 of our Tracksuit to the Top series here with Lewis FC in the Premier League. Hopefully you guys are good. Today I have for you the Capital One Cup semi-final first and second leg against Liverpool. Two big games, a potential way to get to a cup final and of course win some silverware, something that we've not done since we won the Johnson's Paint Trophy. I guess we won the championship, but we've not won like a domestic cup in a while. But anyway, before we get into that, a few results to tell you guys about. Of course, last episode was the live come against Chelsea. If you missed it, definitely go check it out. Since then, we've continued with our fine form and got 6 wins out of 6. Some huge results here. Very, very pleasing. The first result was a 2-0 win against Everton. Haas and Soares with the goals for us. A game that we dominated. Everton didn't have a shot on target. Kouakou with a quiet day in the office there. We then played West Ham, where we beat them 2-1 thanks to a heroic piece of work by Stefano Denswell, one of our former players, giving us a penalty in the last minute, and Matthew Lewis stepped up, scored it in the 90th minute, and that got us a big win. West Ham, of course, were unbeaten in the league. I believe they'd actually won one or lost a game before they lost to us. I think at the end of last episode they hadn't lost all year. Since then they've gone on a bit of a rough run of form. You can see they lost to Liverpool, who we have today, and also to Cardiff, who are rock bottom of the league. Anyway, the next result was a rematch against Everton, who of course we'd beaten 2-0 and not had a shot on target against us, and this time we absolutely slayed them. Like, if they were a dragon, they were dead, basically. We walked in with our, well actually we were at home, so I guess the dragon turned up at our house and we slayed him. 6-0, Matthew Lewis, the knight in shining armour with 5 goals to his name. Incredible stuff by him. Goal scoring record this year is just redonkulous. 46 in 34, including the 2 appearances on off the bench. In the league, he's scoring more than 1 goal a game. Domestically, he's doing incredibly, and in the continental competitions, his goal scoring record is better than 1 goal a game too. So that was a great result. The next result, 4-2 against Forest. Forest being a bit of a bogey team, as Sombalonga scored a few hat-tricks against us in recent years. However, today, and in this game, he could only score 2 against us, as we did run out winners. Britta Sombalonga, been at their club a long time. You can see he's kind of been their main goal scorer for the last 7 years, so quite a loyal servant. Kind of cool to see him doing that well, but it wasn't enough today as we did win 4-2. And then the final 2 results, 2 pretty decent ones. The first one was against QPR, who I believe we played on the first day of the season, if memory serves me correctly. This is the bit where I'm now completely wrong. Oh, okay, it was the second game of the season. We beat them 5-1 then. This time we only beat them 2-1. Alexander Haas with both goals. And then the last result in this kind of run of fixtures was against Bournemouth, and we beat them 4-1. A really convincing result. Matthew Lewis with 2, Haas with another. The German's been in really, really good form for us this year, and yeah, it was another good win. And even Harayan got on the score sheet, so that was good. That was very, very good. So anyway, looking forward to today's episode. I'm going to be doing the Capital One Cup semi-final, first leg and second leg. I'm not going to bother with the Luton game in between. But 2 big games. Liverpool were the last team to beat us in the league. They're the last English team to beat us. They beat us 3-1 last time we met. So I'm hoping that we can kind of avenge that perhaps a little bit and get a good result here. It's going to be over 2 legs. The way the Capital One Cup works is there is no away goals until after extra time. It's a really weird rule. But rules are rules. We've got to work hard here. For the Luton game in midweek, I am going to be rotating my side because we are struggling a little bit with fitness. So that's something kind of to bear in mind. And the players are a little bit tired going into this game. But we have a full strength squad pretty much at our disposal. Pretty happy with everyone. You can see looking at the goal scores. It's good to see Haas and Soares both getting double-digit goals. Because certainly coming into this year, there was maybe a little bit of a question mark around them. Haas hadn't scored a goal last season for Sevilla, and he was coming in as our top earner. Soares, on the other hand, was kind of joining us, and there was a big question mark over him. Before I forget, actually, it's worth noting there are 2 new transfers that we brought in for this January, just to kind of, I guess, fresh faces. Well, actually, no, there was 3. I'm lying. We'll start off with the little one, which is Bredal. He's a free agent. His agent came to me and said that he wanted a club. You guys might remember with players like Matthew Lewis and Ben Bacon, they weren't generated at a club. I've explained this a few times in the comments, and I've probably explained it in a previous video. But basically, on Regen Day, some Regens aren't produced at clubs. They're not produced as part of an intake. They generate as free agents and their age, basically. So 16, free agent, never been at a club. So Bredal was an example of this. But what makes these players unique is because they haven't generated at a club, there isn't a head of youth development or facilities that a club has that dictates how good their CA and PA is. So as a result, they're completely random. Now, if you're a more prolific nation for producing young players, such as England, there's a higher chance of the player being good, as in the case of Matthew Lewis. With this Norwegian Bredal, we're going to take a little bit of a punt on him. We'll see how good he becomes. I mostly signed him for the pink hair, I'm not going to lie. But he looks like he could be a good player, and he's only 16, so we'll see what comes of him. He came in on a free. The next two players, Eder, a player who we approached on a pre-contract. I may have mentioned this guy before. He's right-footed and plays on the left-hand side and is preferably an inside forward. We're actually going to be converting him to a right midfielder. I think he's going to offer some good kind of backup there. So, yeah, we're training him to play right mid. That is the primary focus of his training. And he joined us for under £1 million. So, he'll be a good backup and he may get a bit of game time because he has some really nice technicals. And if he doesn't, chances are we'll be able to sell him on for some nice money. And the last player we signed from Barcelona, and that was a Vladimir Orlando. What a un-Brazilian name that is. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, shout out to my Twitter, link down in the description. But I actually asked when I was looking at this player, where would you play this guy? And this was when he was still at Barcelona before I signed him, because his agent offered him to me for £5 million, and I was kind of sat there thinking, well, he looks incredible, but where would you play him? And so I asked Twitter. Twitter told me advance forward, attacking midfielder, you know, striker would be the way to go, or out on the left mid. Because I have so many left mids, obviously with Eder coming in, we already have Pedrera, Sonogo can play left mid. I'm actually training this guy to play striker and a complete forward role, which might seem really, really strange to some people because his finishing and composure aren't his main strengths, but because his rounded off technicals are so good and his physicals are amazing. I mean, 14 finishing and composure isn't terrible either. I think he's going to be quite well suited to this role and make a very nice backup player in that regard. So he'll be able to play the complete forward role. He'll also be capable of playing poacher, and I am weighing up potentially, if he becomes really familiar with this striker role, also converting him so he can play centre attacking mid. I like him. He's got too good at aerials for me to kind of stick him out on the wing, and because of our abundance of wingers who are kind of superior to him in some ways, I think it's going to be better to see him play down the middle. So they're the transfers. Thought I'd better cover them. But anyway, let's get into today's game. I'd already selected my starting 11. We're going to be taking on Liverpool. In the other semi-final, I believe it's Manchester City and Chelsea. So this is kind of one of those rare instances, I guess, in a domestic cup competition where four of the biggest 6 teams in England are actually the teams in the semi-final. Very often there's perhaps one surprise package in the Capital One Cup or one team that just seems to outperform themselves. But this year, the kind of Premier League team seem to have taken it quite seriously, and so we've got a tough game here against Liverpool, which isn't going to be easy. And then following up from this, if we could get to the final, it's not going to get any easier for us. But anyway, we need to focus on one game at a time here. We're on the attack. Sonogo with a crazy run hits it. Koval, the Ukrainian goalkeeper, with the save. Koval actually quite a good goalkeeper. I recommend you check him out if you're looking for a good young goalkeeper at the start of your saves. Although Liverpool on the attack here, Fisher takes it around the keeper, or seemingly tried to squeeze it between the keeper and the post. Unfortunately for him, though, going wide. But both teams having some good opportunities early on. But the highlight's not over. There's more to come. Pedrera running down the left-hand side. I should point out I have been training some PPMs to our players. So I often overlook how important player preferred moves are, but they are really, really important, particularly if you've got a system where you want to use them. So for example, Matthew Lewis I have trained in moves into channel, and also there's another one and I can't think of what it is. It might be breaks off side trap, and they're kind of the 2 PPMs I have. PPMs are player preferred moves, in case that wasn't obvious. Matthew Lewis hits the post, but recently I've been kind of looking into ways that I can better utilise them. So for example, our wingers Pedrera and then Martinez, obviously the young Colombian, I've now got them both properly kind of familiar with, Suarez with the goal, but I've both got them properly familiar with the player preferred move, runs down knocks a ball past opponent. It's really good for fast players if they can just knock the ball past, and both of them having same acceleration of pace. And having now got them familiar with that, I'm now starting to train them in the new PPM, which is kind of runs with the ball down the right and the left, depending on which one's which, obviously, because they play either wing for us. Other ones, for example, I've got Sonogo being trained to dictate the tempo of our play in the advanced playmaker role. I've also got Mitchell, the German young centre mid, being trained to look for passes instead of shooting because he's a very good defensive midfielder, but his finishing's like 6. So to have him looking for the pass makes a lot of sense, and kind of it covers up one of the weaknesses in his game. And then on the flip side, you've got players like Juan Carlos Leon, who already had the PPM when he came to us of comes deep to get the ball. I've now got a few others on him, like I think I'm currently training him in attempts 1-2s, and I also might then move on to training him to dictate the tempo of our play. But anyway, I might do a separate video on player preferred moves. If that's something you want to see, let me know down in the comments, and it's something that I can definitely rustle up, because it's something that a lot of players overlook, but it can be quite important. It's what makes players like Gareth Bale quite good. Gareth Bale in game, I don't want to say he's underwhelming because he is incredible, but his PPMs really make him a beyond average player. But anyway, let's focus on the game, Jack. It's now 1-1, Liverpool scoring there, Morris with the ball in, and then a nice finish by, oh gosh, that name, Shivers? I don't know. We'll just call him, I don't know. We'll call him Jivers. Let's just call him Jivers. It's not his name, but we'll go with it. Anyway, 1-1 here. It's been a pretty close first half. You'd have to say we've probably had the better of the play. We're slightly edging possession and we've had more shots, but we've just not done enough with that. Be interesting to see if we can maybe get this goal before half time, as we are on the attack here. Suarez, already 1 goal to his name, running wide. Does everyone. Sonogo, a really nice goal there. Great build-up play. Sonogo finds the ball, but it was all about that run by Suarez. Ran outside, pulled one of the defensive midfielders with him. So you get to this position here with this centre defence in mid, who was meant to be kind of shielding the back four, has been pulled out wide. And then the back four's dropped deep, obviously anticipating maybe a run around the back and a cross in. And Sonogo is just free for a nice little tap in, really, because there's just so much space in the midfield in front of the back four. Nice move. Very nice move. That's one of the things I really like about the complete forward, which is the role we play Suarez in, is the fact he has a bit of kind of licence to roam. And, you know, you'll see those kind of runs where pulls men out of position and drops deeper, kind of loses his man quite easily. And if he picks up a man, the man who's like now marking him is usually meant to be responsible for someone else, as in that instance. But anyway, 2-1 up here. We're doing well. Can we keep things going though? Alexander Haas gives the ball straight to them. A good first half performance. We really dominated the play. I was nervous coming into this game. Liverpool, no pushovers. They were one of the teams who went unbeaten in the league for a very long period of time. And obviously they beat us in the league. They're one of the few teams to beat us this season so far. We're on a great run. I want to maintain that winning run for as long as possible. We had some great results in the last few live comms against the likes of Man City and Chelsea during that run, and I'm looking for that to continue. But anyway, we're on the attack here. Suarez, Sonogo, he's got to bury that. That's another, very similar to the second goal actually, similar in some senses I guess. Suarez looking for the ball for Sonogo running forward. However, that time the finish just wasn't there, and we've just committed, suddenly gone Eastern European, haven't I? Committed the foul there, and that's not good. Fisher with a chance to score, and he does bury it. Taking a cheeky drink of my water. I don't usually have a glass of water with me when I'm doing my live cons, but today I've just had one of those days where my throat just feels dry. It needs lubricating with water. I know someone's going to make some kind of joke about that now in the comments. Anyway, 2-2 here. Disappointing to give away the penalty, but we are still doing okay. Liverpool have had a few more clear-cut chances despite their lack of possession. Perhaps a sign of us getting caught out slightly on the break, but we're maintaining the pressure. Well, I'm going to just keep going with the system where we're going with. We've created our own fair share of chances, and oh my gosh, Leon, what have you just done? What have you just done? 30-yard strike, tab out of your FMs. I swear to God he scored screamers this season in the live comms. Juan Carlos Leon, that might be the best one he's scored yet. Bang! Pick that out. He's like Steven Gerrard. He just scores in all the big games. The games against the biggest teams in the clutchest of moments from centre mid. Juan Carlos Leon, what a man. What a strike that was. Take a bow. Now we need to defend, which we've not done a very good job of doing so far this game. And they're on the attack immediately. Good tackle. Harayan. Suarez with the big ball over the top. Use your pace, son. Burn him. Unfortunately blocked there, and that was maybe a half chance. Although now Liverpool on the break, and they now miss a sitter. It's been an end-to-end game here. I'm actually going to tell my players to drop deeper but close down more. I want to see us sit a little bit deeper because Liverpool are trying to hit us on the break and catching us with quite a high line, which is obviously the system we play. We like to press up high, but at the moment they're finding just easy balls over the top. So we're going to sit a little bit deeper but close down more and see how this goes. Emre Can with the ball at the edge of the area. Kongolo, can he whip in a ball for Liverpool? He can. Fisher's there, near post, and he squeezes it in. Disappointing for Kouakou to get beaten at the near post there, but you'd have to say Liverpool probably deserve that despite not having as so much of the ball, despite not having as many shots. They've created some opportunities, and there, I don't want to blame Kouakou, but that's a very weird attempt of a save, to say the least, and it has squeezed in there. Let's make some subs. 10 minutes left. A few players struggling fitness-wise. Matthew Lewis is one of them. He's not had a game to remember. I'm going to give Dean Marks, who we signed, the Northern Irish player. I've not really talked about him much because he just hasn't played for us, but we're going to give him a run out. We're also going to bring on Martinez, and I think we'll bring on Orlando as well to play left mid. Going to make a triple change in the final third and hope that we can make something happen here. But time is ticking away. 3-3 wouldn't be a bad result. It would just mean going into this next game we probably need to win it, because of the away goals rule after extra time. Even if we were tied, Liverpool with 3 away goals here are going to make things tricky. So I guess there's a lot relying on us to kind of perform here and step things up in the second half. But anyway, not a bad result. I would have liked to have seen better. I am going to tell the players I'm disappointed. But a nice goal by Juan Carlos Leon nevertheless. And I will join you guys, I guess, after the Luton game. So I'll be back in just a second, and let's get this second leg going and hopefully book ourselves a place in the final at Wembley. Okay guys, so we are back. Just a quick recap actually of the game that you missed. It was a 5-1 win in the FA Cup. I actually tried to rotate a lot on my side. Unfortunately, 2 injuries for Sonogo and Matthew Lewis to come on quite early on. Both did grab goals, but I kind of wanted to rest them for that game, so that's a little bit of a shame. Also a few transfers just to tell you guys about coming in on the deadline day. First one was an out. In fact, I don't even know if I mentioned Joe Allen getting sold. If I didn't mention that, I don't think I did. We sold him for 350k. He's been at the club a while but wasn't doing a lot. And I've loaned out Roberto. I'm hoping First Team Football is going to serve this guy well. Anyway, on the ins, just a few. Joe Manning joining us from Man City for, I think it was 1.8. Yeah, 1.8 million pounds for a really good English centre-back. Delighted to get him for that fee. I don't think he has a lot about him in terms of improving and how good he can become. But he's very good physically. He's got good defending and good aerial ability. Perhaps his bravery and aggression let him down a little bit for a centre-back, but the centre-back position's been a position we've been struggling in. I've also been struggling to get in good English players, which is something I'd like to rectify in the coming years, and I think this guy's going to add a little bit to our side, certainly. Anyway, the other player coming in was this guy, Jonathan Guzman, just a really good young Colombian, 18 years old, got a work permit. We signed him for 375k. There are also just a few other players who we signed from South America. Unfortunately, these players can't move until their 18th birthday. The first guy was this guy, Julian Cardona. Looks like a very good centre-back, going to be honest. I'm very excited to have this guy coming in. He's only 17, good determination, good mentals. His speed and physicals let him down a little bit, but he's only 17, plenty of room to develop, so delighted to get him in, and he looks like a player who could have some seriously good potential. And the other player, a free transfer, this guy, Bogado, we'll go with it. Paraguayan, young, another centre-back. 2 of them. This guy looks pretty good. 18 years old, joining us on a free. His contract was expiring. He was one of the players who my scouts had picked up, and I got a news item informing me that his contract was due to run out in 6 months, so I thought I'd approach to sign him, get him on a free, and who knows, if he turns out to be incredible, great. If not, well, we got him on a free at the end of the day. So anyway, let's get into today's game. Let's lock in our squad. Of course, 3-3 after the first leg. So the way this works, I've already said it twice this episode, but if it's a draw after 90 minutes in this second leg, we do go to extra time. However, it won't go to penalties unless we have equal away goals, which would rely on a 3-3 draw in this second leg, which, to be honest, I can't see happening. I guess my main priority's got to be to score and also to just try and win the game outright. because relying on 3 away goals for the draw just isn't reasonable. We did dominate the first leg, really. Liverpool did take the chances that came their way and did hit us on the break a few times. At home, I feel like there's going to be a little bit more pressure for Liverpool to actually play football, and that should actually play quite well into our hands. But we'll have to see how this goes. Set piece early on, cleared away, although Henderson with a chance to put in the ball again. Origi's there, hits the crossbar, and Okore will get it clear. Looking at the stats, that's the first 2 shots Liverpool have had on goal, but possession's in our favour but with the exception of that, it's been a very, very tight opening to the game. But we do win the possession there. Matthew Lewis, who of course did score against Luton to keep up his goal-scoring record, passes it through, and Juan Carlos Leon with a very ambitious effort. Well, I talked about how he scores some screamers, and he scored one last game, but that is not one to add to the scrapbook. Hit miles wide in the end, unfortunately for him. But we do come away with possession here. 25 minutes in, still 0-0. I believe at this point last game it was 1-1. But we have a chance. Matthew Lewis scores to make it 1-0. His 48th goal of the season. And we are still in January. Incredible stuff. He got 51 last year, and I thought that was a ludicrous goal-scoring tally. This year, he's just been a whole nother beast. This time, Soares with the nice assist. Matthew Lewis just sitting on the shoulder of the centre-back, and it was in fact Liverpool's left-back playing him onside. That kind of PPM of looks to break offside trap working well from here. However, Soares is going to be injured, which isn't great, but we do have a fairly strong kind of switch we can do here where we move Hartz to complete forward, and then we just bring in Jean-Carlos Martinez to play the right mid position, so that could be a lot worse. But yeah, just a kind of straight swap. Well, no, it isn't a straight swap at all. A straight swap would imply that we swapped one for another, but really it's a straight swap in terms of it's something that I'm familiar with doing, kind of moving those 3 players around. Jean-Carlos Martinez has started a fair few games for us at right back, and there'll be games where Hartz sits on the bench or Soares sits on the bench. But alas, at 1-0, we're 1-0 up and things are looking quite good. We've performed well so far. We've limited Liverpool's chances a lot more. They did hit the woodwork early on, but with the exception of that, they've not shown anything too menacing yet. But possession hasn't been as dominant as it was in our home game. But at 1-0, we're looking quite good for our lead, really. Liverpool only with the 1 shot on target. But anyway, 52 minutes in, things going well. This is never going to be an easy game though. Liverpool, fantastic team. We could not afford to get too complacent here because they are one of the bigger teams in this save. Last year they had a really off season. They finished 5th. And prior to that, I think for the previous 8 years, they'd finished in the top 3 in the Premier League, so they are a strong team. We do deal with the ball well there. Can we now hit on the break from this corner? Matthew Lewis with Akers to run into. Tries to play through a ball, but the centre-back makes a mistake, and Haas is through, and Haas has got to bury that. One-on-one with the keeper, a breakaway from the corner, a defensive error leaving him clean through, and unfortunately for us, he could not even find the target there, and that's bitterly disappointing. But we still have time to get back into this game. Jean Carlos with a huge throw, which goes straight to Liverpool, unfortunately, and now they're on the attack. Can we defend here? Okore with a good tackle, but Eric Dyer there at the right back position, still with the ball for Liverpool, but good pressure. We're trying to alienate him out wide, and we're continuing to do that, although Emre Can with the ball, and Dyer continued his run forward, whips in the ball, and it hits the post, and Liverpool, not for the first time this game, hit the woodwork, but we managed to scramble away the ball and live to fight another day. Looking at it, they're still really struggling to hit the target, so I'm pretty pleased with that. But with 20 minutes left, it's not comfortable, and now Jordan Henderson smashes in a goal for Liverpool to make it 4-4 on aggregate, and this would take it to extra time. Eric Sanogo looking a little bit tired. Unfortunately, we haven't got a load of options we can do. I'm actually going to take him off. I'm going to bring on Batagelli to play the box-to-box midfielder for us, and then we're going to play with Juan Carlos Leon at centre attacking mid and see how that serves us. But unfortunately there, Henderson just hammers in that free kick. Kouakou perhaps should do better, can only parry it into the roof of the net, but the shot was hit with such power, it was difficult for him. So we'll make that change. We have 1 sub left. Really, I need to save that one for if this game goes to extra time. Unfortunately, that early injury forced us into a change and does limit my options on off the bench. But right now, 4-4 in aggregate. 1 goal now with 10 minutes left would probably seal it either way, you'd have to feel. Matthew Lewis with 1 goal to his name. These are the moments where you need your big players to come big, and it looks like we're going to be going to extra time here, which is not good enough. I'm going to tell the players I'm far from pleased. I want to see them fired up. I'm also going to tell the players who didn't react well that I have faith in them, in the hopes that that's going to cheer them back up, because it wasn't good enough. We were doing well this game, and we've conceded from a set piece. We had chances to go through. Haas perhaps missing that clear-cut chance being the turning point, really. But we have 30 minutes to either score 2 or just get 1 and win. But right now it's tight. I think we're going to be reaping perhaps some of the rewards, however, for rotating our team for the FA Cup game, because a lot of our players are fairly fit and fairly kind of sharp, considering how long the football match has been going on for at the moment. And Liverpool on the attack here. Can we defend? Origi out wide on the left. Ben Davis looking for the overlap. Origi, Davis, can he whip in the ball? There's options there. He goes to Origi. Henderson at the edge of the area. Can we get in a tackle? We can't. Henderson thread through the ball, and Liverpool score. But was it offside? It was offside. Denied by the linesman. CB, a guy with long last name I can't say, with the chance there, but unfortunately for him it's not gone his way. And well, with 15 minutes left, we know we need a goal. We know we need a goal. Looking at our players aren't struggling for fitness too much, which is something I was almost expecting. So that's good, but we have one change to make, and it's a case of where do I want to make that change. I think I'm going to take off Pereira. I'm going to give Vladimir Orlando a chance to shine, an opportunity to show what he's made of out on the left mid position. £5 million he came in for from Barcelona. Can he show us what he's about today and maybe get a vital goal in a big game? This is going to be his chance to shine, but he's only going to have 15 minutes to do it. But with the kind of physicals he has, I think we've got every chance. Although time is ticking away here. We have not long now. We've got to push much higher up. We've got to close down more. We've just got to attack, really. So I'll make those changes. There's not a lot more I can do, really. We have a chance here. Lewis with a set piece. Harry Yans in the middle. Vladimir Orlando. Oh, he's just choked his lines. And what is the centre-back doing? Scholes, go after the ball, you moron. I know you're tired. I know that you're exhausted, but you've got to chase back. And Liverpool almost with a goal there. And unfortunately, it looks like we are going to be going out on the away goals rule after extra time. A cruel blow, because I guess technically we never lost against Liverpool in this competition. We never lost in this competition, but unfortunately for us, the away goals rule after extra time in the semi-finals is going to come into effect. And our dream perhaps of getting Capital One Cup silverware is gone right there, as Liverpool will go through on away goals, 1-1 on the night, but the fact we conceded 3 at home is just inexcusable. That is what has lost us this game. A game where, again, we probably had more chances, we probably did more with it, but unfortunately the one Matthew Lewis goal simply not enough for us, and Jordan Henderson's free kick was the difference maker. Well, anyway, guys, that was a bit disappointing, but I guess we kept our unbeaten run going, looking at silver linings, or at least trying to. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. I think the next episode I'm going to do will be Manchester United in the league. That is in 2 games' time, so not a long time between this and the next live com. Of course, Manchester United are in second, so a big game there could give us a chance to pull away even further in the league, because we do have that nice 4-point cushion. Hopefully I'll see you guys for that one. If you've enjoyed this video, please do smash the like button. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.